And then lastly, we have the Copics before we get into the comics. So here is the piece. I do apologize for my chair squeaking, as you can hear. A light brew? A light...
It says you got a heavy brew.
I mentioned before in the beginning of this vlog, I will be trying to pick up at least 6 Copics every paycheck to complete my collection. It looks amazing. Oh my gosh, my camera's in the way. Like, look at that. It looks so good. Can I get a good shot? Yeah! I love how this... It is the first clip of the year 2023, and it is day 4. I gotta say, so far, pretty good year. Had a really good day at work. I'm starting to feel better. I'm not sick. I had an awesome year with my amazing wife, who's over there eating some food right now. We ordered pizza, and pizza is amazing. Wait, you're not eating pizza. Hold up. I just realized. She wasn't eating... Hold up. She wasn't eating pizza. I went out before it rained. To get pizza. And what is this woman eating? What are you eating? What
I got before you went to work.
That's a good point. I was told you and Mom did eat out.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom?
Just my leftovers from that. I'm just eating your mom.
That means pizza for lunch tomorrow. Yeah. So anyway, I do have a little bit of loot to talk about, and I do have some drawings to show you guys because I am getting back in the groove of things. And let me tell you something. It is really nice to be back in the groove of things because I have 2 drawings that I am really excited to show you guys. I did 3. The first one, okay, it's 3 drawings, but there's 2 that I'm really excited for. The first one's this one here, which is just like a normal drawing of Wrath. It's fine. This one of Gluttony came out really, really good, and I can't wait to ink this piece. And then what I'm currently working on is right now going to be one of the Magician. This is going to be for a graphite ink. That's going to be really fun. This one's going to be just a black ink, or possibly one of the different nibs that I have. Really excited to do those reviews. This one's going to be for the green acrylic ink, the FW, so very excited. And I will put the reference that I use for this one on screen real quick because it's a really good reference. I really like it. I don't know the artist who did it because I saw it in a TikTok video, but you know what? It's really, really cool, so I'm going to use it. It fits the Magician. Sarah wanted me to actually draw a library behind her. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all. You know why?
You suck.
I was going to say, because I'm not going to draw...
He doesn't suck.
I'm not going to draw all those books, but instead... I am going to do something really fun where I'm going to revisit this pose and then draw a library. How about that? Is that fair?
Sadly, I'm the only one who sucks in this relationship.
Get out. Get out. It's very true, but get out. Now, I do have some loot to show you, and that is in the form of these 6 Copics. Now, what I think I'm going to do is every paycheck, I'm going to try and get 6 Copics. And the reason is because I'm not going to try and collect all of them. I don't need to do that. Instead, I'm going to get all the colors that I want / know I will use, and then when one runs out, or I have purchased all the ones that I already want, I'm going to start getting the refills, because the refills are actually a pretty good deal. It's like $5 opposed to the 8 that these are, so very, very nice. And I think you get like 10 or 12 refills from one of those, so super nice. The colors I have are G02, G07, Y11, E99. This one I'm going to save for last. It's a pretty fun one. FYG1, so fluorescent yellow. This one's really cool. This is special black, but I have 6 Copic colors. I think my goal for this year is just going to pick up one of, not every color, but the colors that I really want. So I'm going to pick up about 6 Copics every paycheck. I think that's a really good goal because it's going to help me get through a lot of colors I want. A lot of colors I know I'll need, a lot of colors I'm really interested in experimenting with and creating some art with and doing some fun stuff with. After that, because I'm not going to get every Copic, I don't need them, I think I'll go after refills. I think that'll be a nice thing to do, only because I know that I will use them, especially with a lot of the reds, with the blues, with the purples, the violets, all that stuff. I think it'll be a really good investment, and those refills are pretty good. There's also a bug going around this room, and it's driving me crazy. It was on the table. I almost got it. But yeah, so that's going to be what I'm going to do going forward into this year, and the last one is actually Special Black 110, which is different from the Black 100, because this is a cool black while this is a warm black. You wouldn't notice the difference unless you put them next to each other, but it kind of blew my mind, so I had to like get it just to compare them for myself. Very excited to put these in. I already made space in the shelves, and yes, they are, by the way, alphabetized and numericalized. I also have all of my Prismacolors on top, Spectre Noir, and a few of the Winsor Newtons that I have extra over here, and then all my grays on the bottom because I use those the most, and I have a combination of Blick, Winsor Newton, and Prismacolor grays because I go through those a lot. And I will stop collecting the Prismacolor ones, not only because they stop selling them individually, but I really like the Copics, I really like the Artstation system. I will say, the chiseled nib that Prismacolor has is the better of the chiseled nibs. Like, I love how it's a little bit round, so you can really use it in a lot better ways than the actual Copic one. But still, I'm going to slowly phase out all these Prismacolors over time. It will be a thing that will take time, and I still have one. That's right, one Spectre Noir. So, yeah. I also am still a little sick, so if you didn't see last month's vlog, I'm getting over the flu, so my voice is definitely hurting a little bit, especially when I talk a lot, like at my job. So, I'm going to end the vlog here because I've been talking a little too much, and I'm starting to feel the strain. So, it's someone's birthday, and I got a refill, and it's very sassy.
I brought out a full-on picture. I love it's a baby picture too.
Like,
I mean,
I now want the cups that are proportionate to this, because this is a normal
those
cup.
are Disney shot glasses.
Yeah, I want one. I don't care. I want one. This is amazing.
It's just cute.
It's adorable. I want it.
It's a sassy way to say that this person drinks a lot and needs refills.
I could fit this in my pocket. Alright guys, so I have some loot, yes, but I do have something really important to show you. Something that I am so stoked to talk about, something I'm so excited for you guys to see. But hopefully the video for this will not be out, so I won't spoil anything. If anything, this is going to be a tease to what's coming. Now, the first video that I've wanted to film in this space has been something I've been debating. There's been a lot of different project ideas, a couple scripts that I wrote that I really want to do, but something happened that changed it. Now, for those of you who don't know, I do occasionally do commission work. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy working with people. I get paid to draw, so, you know, there you go. But once in a while, a commission comes by that absolutely touches my heart. And a good friend of our family, his name is Jason. He's actually one of my grandfather's nurses that helps take care of him. He recently commissioned me to do a piece, not for him, but for one of his patients. And let me tell you, this man is a saint. He is one of the nicest, kindest, most real, just genuine people I've ever met. He has been a blessing to my family. He has been such just a incredible person. I cannot put to words just how amazing this guy is and how much of a blessing he's been. And the fact that he commissioned me not to just make a piece, but a piece for one of his other patients, I couldn't say no. And I want this to be the first video filmed in the studio. And after 10 hours, yes, 10 hours, I have finished the pencils for his Star Wars poster. This is a poster that actually is going to be a recreation of the original poster for the first Star Wars movie, but done in my style. I added more characters, redid some of the compositions, and yeah, I absolutely love how this came out. It's been a lot of work, like I said, over 10 hours on it. And I'm going to be inking. I'm going to film the whole inking process. I am so proud of how this is a 19 by 24 piece on Bristol, quite big, and I am doing this for him because he is just, I couldn't say no, because right now I'm not really doing commissions, only just because I'm still trying to get settled in, still trying to get everything figured out, but I just couldn't say no. I am so excited to do this piece. A lot of my friends are huge Star Wars nerds, so as soon as they found out I was doing this piece, they were like, Josh, give me a copy. And yeah, I cannot wait. I'm going to start inking it tomorrow. I have the camera set up. We're going to be doing all that. But with that said, I do have some loot that I really want to talk about and some loot that I think will be really fun to discuss. So I'm actually going to start this loot recap section with something that it's not the most thing I'm excited for, but it's definitely something that caught me off guard that I didn't sell. So for those of you who don't know, I do work at an art store. I work for Blick, and I'm one of the few art stores that's in the Tampa area. And surprisingly, I don't sell this both in-store and online. In fact, I couldn't find it at Michael's. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I had to order it off of Amazon. But this is Kansan's mixed media artboard, and this thing is super, super thick. It's only 10 sheets. Yeah, that's 10 sheets because here is a smaller board. I do have smaller pieces this size. I think this is 9 by 12. This here is 12 by 16, so it's actually an inch bigger than what I'm used to, kind of on all sides. Well, actually, it's an inch bigger on one dimension and 2 on the other, but you know what I mean. I work in 11 by 14, so this gives me a little bit more to work with, but yeah, this is super thick. Like, this is one sheet. It's amazing. I want to do some really cool gouache stuff on it. I really want to use that liquid charcoal on this. I think it'd be really fun. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pick a bigger piece up. I think it'd be really fun. So I picked that up, and it was $30 for 10 sheets at a 12 by 16 scale. This one's 9 by 12. I think this was in a 10-pack too, and I don't remember how much. I bought this years ago. So very excited to actually use a bigger sheet of that and do some fun stuff. It's going to be really cool. I also went to the comic shop, and my dad picked up this Green Arrow issue, and he says it's really good. I plan on reading it, and then I did pick up my normal list, which isn't that much. I have gone down to the comics that I'm reading. I just picked up Batman, Instagram's World Finest, and the Avengers comics, just because both DC and Marvel really aren't impressed with me. I did see this, which is the Stan Lee What If He Created Batman, and okay, it's not a good book. I argue that they turned Batman into Luke Cage, but I like it. It's actually not a bad design. I think it's really cool, especially the art. The art on this is absolutely amazing. So I was like, you know what? Just for the art, I will pick it up. And then I also picked this up. This is the Batman vs. Spawn blank cover. Can't wait to make some art on this. We have quite the collection of blank comics that we can do some really fun stuff with, so I'm very excited to tackle that. And surprisingly, I did pick up another paint pen, this time by Malto, and I'm really falling in love with the Malto paint pens. They are amazing, super high quality. I picked up a yellow because there's some paint effects I want to do, and yeah, I recommend Malto over Posca any day. Except for the Malto Gold. I don't own it, but I have used it. It is a little more on the green side than a gold side, but every color that Malto makes is amazing. They're super strong, super vibrant, really strong colors. They layer amazingly. Their white paint pen is amazing, but just the fact that all the other colors are, like their red, which I did pick up, and I think I talked about last month, that thing is an amazing red. The Posca red is super pink, but the Malto red is amazing. Now, interestingly, they do make a 4mm version and a 2mm version, but they have a 1mm nib. And on here, we only, unfortunately, in our store sell the 1mm black and white version. However, something that's interesting is they do sell the nibs separate, both a 0.5mm and a 1mm 2-pack for $10. That is insane. But at my store, I noticed that we sold the De La Roni acrylic nibs for their paint pens. Now, interestingly, this is the 1mm plastic nib, and this is the 0.5mm felt nib. Now, here's something that I noticed. They're both 2mm in terms of the body, and they also are the same length as the Malto. So I thought, you know what? You get 8 for $7 and some change of each nib, so I want to see if these will fit. I'm willing to take the risk to see if these will fit in the Malto nibs. And let me tell you something, they do. So I put the 0.5mm FW nib in the Malto, and it works. There's a little bit of leaking on the side, but nothing that has ruined any pieces, nothing that has been too drastic, just a little bit of leak. And yeah, I absolutely love this. I have not tried the plastic nib because the only other one that I have is this one here, which I'm just going to pop that open, and that is a Malto original plastic nib. But looking at it, they do look like they are the exact same. So I think it will work. I think it will actually work. And the fact that the 0.5mm nibs work, this is a really good hack that I am recommending to people because these are really fairly priced. While the Maltos are, again, high quality, but the nibs are overpriced. So very interesting, and I'm happy to add a yellow to my collection along with these nibs. And the FW paint pens come empty because the idea is you can buy the ink and fill them up. So I might pick some of those up and actually do some cool art with them. Very excited to try those. And then the last bit of loot are my Copics, because as mentioned before in the beginning of this vlog, I will be trying to pick up at least 6 Copics every paycheck to complete my collection. And that's not every Copic. I don't want to own all of them. I just want to get the Copics that I know I will use, the Copics that I know I will get a lot of mileage out of, and the Copics that will just be colors that I would like to have and just create art with. And we're going to start in not alphabetical or just any order I want. We got an FV2, so this is another fluorescent super vibrant color. We got a BV04. Now this is actually called Blueberry. It's a purple. Very excited to use that. Not a lot of purple and not a lot of red in Copic, so that's a little disappointing because my main villain for my comic is purple and my main hero for my comic is red, so that is unfortunate, but they have a great selection of other colors, and again, the ink is super high quality, easy to blend, plus the app just makes this so easy to organize. And with these 6, by the way, I own, not including duplicates, 100 Copic. Again, not including duplicates, but I have 100 Copics, and I'm very proud of that. That's pretty cool. I did pick up Y38, Y35, which does complete both my yellows, which I'm super excited for, and my reds because I have an R59. Now, I have all the reds that I want and all the yellows that I want. I also believe I completed all my fluorescents that I want and my BVs. So all that's left is going to be blues, green yellows, green blues, green, and I think, yeah, that's it. Oh no, and some earth tones, and that's about it. And the last one is just a neutral 10. This is a neutral gray. Actually, no, I now have all the neutral grays that I want too. So I have completed a few of the ones that I want, and so I'm very excited to complete the rest. I think it's going to be, I want to say like 6 more pay periods before I actually have all of them. So about 12 more weeks, and I'm very excited. That's a really fun goal. That's a very attainable goal. Both me and my assistant store manager, we are collecting Copics every paycheck, and we're having a blast. We're keeping track of them on the app. We're talking about it. We're both super excited. It's just a fun thing both me and Justin are doing. We're having an amazing time. And yeah, that's just everything for today. Got some fun projects I'll be working on. I got some loot that I want to talk about, and I will do a quick close-up of the finished sketch. You can get a good idea of what it looks like. Super excited for the video. I hope you guys will enjoy it. And yeah, that's pretty much everything for today. So let's go ahead and show you the awesome 10-hour sketch drawing. So here is the piece. I do apologize for my chair squeaking, as you can hear. I don't know what it is. I think it got damaged in the move. Now, it is penciled. I did ink the lettering because it was just easier for me to ink it instead of just pencil and then ink over it. It was just more work, and I didn't feel like working extra. But yeah, it's a lot of work. So we have the Death Star, we have Darth Vader, we have Boba Fett, Vader's hand, C-3PO, R2-D2, Leia, Luke, Han, an Ewok, Chewie, Lando, and then this was really important to me. Instead of doing like Ewan McGregor, which I love his portrayal of Obi-Wan, I wanted to do Old Man Obi-Wan because that was in the original prequels, and of course Yoda. Yoda looks a little angry, but a lot of the references I find he pretty much is angry, and you know, I was like, you know what, yeah, let's keep it. And yes, I did try to keep a shape between the cloak and Vader's helmet with these to show the connection, and them looking over Luke, both as a menacing threat and as a mentor. So I thought that was cool. I did have a lot of debates of putting Palpatine right here, at least in half silhouette, and I was like, you know what? No, Vader is a great villain. He's much better, in my opinion, than Palpatine, and Jason didn't want Palpatine on it, so it worked out pretty well. And in case you're wondering, these X's are my little shortcuts. Pretty common, actually, in a lot of comic book circles, but that's just for, you know, 100% black. I did shade in some areas here just to see how it looked with the contrast. Same thing in here. This shading in here is very loose. It's actually just placement shading, and mostly for cross-hatching, because when I pencil, I don't like to actually do full detailed cross-hatching unless someone else is inking it. So I put X's and these just as reminders of where I want the cross-hatching and the 100% values to be. And then for Boba Fett, I was just checking to make sure everything was good, so that's why I shaded in around him. But yeah, very excited to ink this. It's gonna be super fun. I got my camera set up. It's going to be a long process. Like I said, I'm already 10 hours in, but man, it is worth it. So we stopped for gas, and I thought, hey, I'll just take out the trash that's in the back of Sarah's car. I think it'd just be like a bag or two, like in my car. Sarah, come here. Sarah, what is this? There's more on this side. Sarah, explain yourself.
Why are you shaming your wife?
Sarah, I love you.
No, you don't.
I love everything about you. There is not one thing I don't love about you. However, this is something that does bother me, but I still love you. Okay, will you stop the puppy dog eyes? Come on. Oh, do you have real? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you cry. I'm a terrible husband. I'm sorry.
Yes, you are. You shamed your wife. I was laughing so hard I cried.
Oh, okay, I was about to say, I felt so bad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I moved this. I moved. Oh, Alma butt. Ah, Sarah. Ah, touch.
Show you where else I can hide something.
Ah! Alright guys, so I have finished the Star Wars poster, and it was 10 hours penciling and over 14 hours inking. I am very tired, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Michael's to see if I could find a good ink varnish. And the reason is because the store that I work at, they don't sell the ink varnish that I need in store. We have it online. I'm impatient, so I'm going to run to Michael's real quick to see what they have. So here's something we haven't heard for quite a long time on the channel. We're going to Michael's! Not gonna lie, kind of an unsuccessful trip because I was really looking for the gold varnish that Golden makes, and it is an amazing varnish. It is one of the best varnishes ever. It's the top rated one for pen and ink illustrations. It's a really good all-purpose one, and they didn't have the matte. They had satin, they had gloss, They did not have matte, which sucks. And I don't sell this at my store, so I was really hoping that I could get some at Michael's, which of course they didn't have. And the only other one that I would have used would be the Krylon UV Advanced Protection one. That's a really good one. I do sell that one at my store. Unfortunately, that one is always out. The matte one we never have. We have tons of gloss, we have quite a few satin, but the matte one is gone. It's on back order. We never have it because when we do, everyone buys it. It's like one of the best. It is the second best varnish you can get, especially spray varnish. Pretty much in general, any matte varnish is going to be like low. We're almost never going to have any just because it's so sought after. So many artists love it. So many artists prefer matte that it's almost always out anywhere you go, especially at my store. But I did find the Winsor & Newton. This is the general purpose matte varnish. This is going to be the third best thing I can get. I like Winsor & Newton. They make really good stuff. I do have a spray fixative, but unfortunately that's just not going to work. Mainly because it's for charcoal. This one being an all-purpose really works well on different surfaces. I'm really curious to see how this is going to work with ink. I'm going to do some tests with it to see how it reacts, give it like maybe like a month or so, because I do want to spray down the Star Wars poster before I give it to Jason. However, the key word is I want to make sure it's good. I want to make sure it's going to be safe, it's going to last long. This is for one of his patients. The dude is a saint on earth, and I haven't even texted him that the piece is finished, so I really am excited to actually show it to him. I can't wait. The time lapse is done and it literally was 14 hours and 18 minutes. I can't believe how long it was. I thought it was gonna be like 6, maybe 8 hours at the most, but no, absolutely insane. I'm gonna actually post the full time lapse. Of course, without the audio, because I listened to a bunch of different like podcasts and you could hear me like drop a few F-bombs when the ink messes up. So I'm gonna put some music to it, but yeah, I am very excited to actually show the time lapse. So with that said, let's go ahead and go home. I might stop for a bite to eat. We'll see. What's up, guys? So it is the next day. I am a little tired. I had a long day of work. I have tried to film this clip multiple times. My dad's in the background laughing because this is the 4th take. I don't know why. I just can't talk today. I'm really excited. I had a really good day at work. Got to talk to my sister. Got to talk to my brother-in-law, Alex. I am having an awesome day. And I have some loot that I want to talk about. So I will show you the Star Wars poster super quick. Get that out of the way. It looks amazing. Oh my gosh. My camera's in the way. Like, look at that. It looks so good. Can I get a good shot? Yeah. I love how this came out. It's so good. 24 hours of work, 14 hours inking, 10 hours penciling. It is one of my favorite pieces I have ever created. It is, I think, the 4th or the 3rd largest piece I've ever created too, which is pretty interesting. I think it's the 4th because I did do my 2-page Jack Kirby spread, which was 2 19x24 pieces taped together. I did do like a 30x40 mural, and then I did do my Birth to Color series, which was for my abstract class, and that one I think was 20. Yes, 20. I might be wrong or misremembering, but I think it's like 20 19x20 sheets of Bristol all together lined. It's the biggest piece I've ever made. I will never do another piece like that again, at least for a while. It will literally wrap around this whole area that I'm filming in like twice over. It's insane. But I do have some loot and some new drawings to show you because I did pencil this the other day and I absolutely love it. And yes, this is Greed, and I love how the web came out. I really wanted to make it a very organic web. I didn't want to do the Spider-Man web. I really wanted to do something really cool, really organic, really kind of true to life. So I looked up some references and I did tweak her design. So originally, Greed is a spider that does find 2 human partners to stitch together to get her human form. And on her spider form, on the butt of the spider, I think it's the abdomen. I'm not really familiar with the terms of insect anatomy, so I do apologize. But I did have the classic Black Widow hourglass design on her butt, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to put it in the shoulder blades, but it's going to be done in negative space. So if you look closely in her shoulders, she does have that hourglass, but it's negative space. But then I thought, you know what? What if I actually do give her that abdomen part that's on her back? So it's good. It would be like over her butt, connected to her back, and put the hourglass on that too. I think that would actually look really cool, and it would also kind of be that subtle thing where there's 2 hourglasses on her back because she's 2 people stitched together. I think that's a cool concept, so I'm definitely going to tweak this. Yeah, the characters have slightly tweaked here and there to the point where I've actually rewatched some of the old animations I've done for the series, and it's weird to see the characters look that way because they've changed and been refined and evolved in really good ways that makes them really unique. Like, I was rewatching an old one and I was like, wow, I forgot Sloth had hands at one point. In his new designs, he doesn't have hands, he has little tendrils, so it's kind of interesting. So very excited to always push these characters further, really make them unique, really define them, so having a lot of fun with that. But I do have some loot that I want to talk about, and the first bit is going to be one of the most useful things I've bought so far, and that is these things. These are glue dots. Now, when I was finished with the Star Wars poster, I wanted to get it officially scanned so I could have a really clean design for it. I could have a clean picture of it. Unfortunately, none of the scanners where I live were flatbed and big enough. enough. They were flatbed, but too small, or they were big enough, but they were rollers, and I didn't want to risk damaging the artwork. So I took some pictures, I found a good spot in my house, hung up the artwork with some silly putty because I didn't want any clips to obstruct the sides and the artwork, and yeah, it was slowly kept sliding, so the glue dots are really going to be a really nice way to actually like keep the artwork stable so I can take my clean pictures, Photoshop them, clean them up. Absolutely love how this poster came out, so very excited, and I hopefully will be able to actually film the reaction of Jason getting the poster, so I'm very excited about that. Also, loot I picked up were some gouache. Now this is actually permanent white gouache, and despite going to art school for several years, I recently learned that permanent white is the white that you want to use for cleanup and highlights, while zinc white is actually the white you would use for mixing and blending. I did not know that. That's actually a really cool thing that I learned, and now it's really one of those things where it's like, okay, I now know I'm doing something right now because I'm doing it right now instead of just guessing. So that's kind of one of the things, is even though you go to art school, a lot of it still is figuring it out on your own. There's still a lot of stuff where it's like they're just not taught, and that kind of sucks, but I love my job where I can learn and grow and just constantly keep learning about art. It's amazing. So it's Winsor Newton, my favorite gouache of all time. Super good, super high quality. Definitely a good cost to price ratio in the sense that like what you're getting is definitely better than what you're paying for, opposed to like Holbein. Like their stuff is really expensive and you're paying for the expensiveness, but I feel like this has a good cost to quality ratio. So got that. I also got a Mars Stadler eraser. However, this one is the normal eraser with a ink eraser. So I'm really curious to see how well this will work. As someone who does a lot of inking, I mean, that's literally what we do on the channel. Definitely think this would be a good investment. It was also like a $3 ruler. So there you go. And then lastly, I do have two more things that I think are really cool. One is this new mechanical eraser. And I say new, it's been out for a while, but yeah, it's a much thicker eraser than what I normally use. So just for context, I have the Tombow Knox, the General, the Tombow Zero, and this now at my desk. Now, the thing about it is that the Tombow Zero is phenomenal when it comes to precision. However, the refills are really kind of a ripoff because most of the refill is just plastic, not the eraser part. So this is kind of annoying. This is great for precision highlights, but I find it really frustrating with the refill. So eventually I got the Tombow Knox. Now before I had all of these, I had the General, and I really liked it. However, I don't think General makes really good erasers. They make really good charcoal, really bad kneaded erasers, and their normal erasers are okay. The Tombow Knox was a game changer because it pretty much is what the General does, but better. However, the body of the Knox is actually made of clear plastic, which means it's going to break down and decay and not have a long shelf life of use. However, what's really cool is that the actual eraser part of it fits within the General. So I actually recommend getting the Tombow Knox eraser refills and putting them in your General, because the General will last longer. I've had this for like 5-6 years, and the Tombow Knox are not only cheaper, they're like, I think like $250 for 4, and then and the Generals, I want to say, are like $380 for 3, and they're higher quality. So it's a win-win scenario. And then I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna get this or another option. So I'm gonna have 3 different options of erasers. Yes, I just spent a minute and 30 talking about erasers because I am a colossal art nerd. I think it has been well established at this point. And the last thing I have is this. So this was a broken brush at work that the plastic was so tight on it, it actually popped off of the wood part of the brush, and we were gonna throw it away, and I asked if I could have it, and they said yes. This is actually a Winsor & Newton Monarch, which is their specific brushes for oil and acrylics, but I went in, heat up the plastic, cut it a little bit, and boom, now I have a free one. However, I'm looking at it and it's like I don't really have like anything to attach it to, so I'm narrowing it down to 2. Either I'm going to attach it to the end of this brush just for the heck of it, or since I do have an extra quill nib, it does fit, why not? Actually, I do have these extra, like, really cheap Dollar Tree brushes. I could probably just pull one of these off and attach it. That actually looks like it would attach. Okay, so futuristic project in the making. So very excited to do that. Really excited how the Star Wars poster came out. I am just so blown away by the quality of it. It is one piece that I pushed myself further than I thought I could do and just made an amazing piece of art. So that is everything for today. I am just going to be kind of chilling tomorrow, doing some filming. I have tomorrow off, and yeah, I'm just going to be doing my normal thing. I do get paid tomorrow, which means that Saturday we're going to do another Copic update. We're going to get 6 new Copics to add to the collection. So if you guys want to take a guess at what those colors are, feel free to, but I am very excited because I'm slowly building up my Copic collection, and I gotta say it really is an investment, but it is a worthwhile investment because I absolutely love Copics. I'm not going to rant about them because I can, they're so good, but we're just going to go to the next clip. Wait, what does your book come with? How did you say it before?
How did I say what?
You said stickers! Like you channeled like the energy. You channeled the energy of a 5-year-old seeing cake for the first time. It was awesome.
Now see, if
That
I'm
was just pure joy.
No. 5-year-old, the second time they ever see, because the first time they have no idea what it is. The second time they're like, oh, it's this miracle has come back.
Okay, that's fair. So I have some loot, and guess what? I got paid yesterday. We went out to dinner, and I picked up my Copics, which, just a reminder, me and my coworker Justin, every paycheck we are picking up some Copics. We're having a blast collecting them. He's gonna actually try and collect the entire collection of Copics. I am only gonna try and collect the ones that I know I will use, and then after that I will probably get refills. But I have some comics, I have some loot here. Sarah has a cool book. Go ahead and show that book off. You know what? I'm gonna do it for you.
It's a cool planner.
It's a really nice planner, and you also, I don't know if you can see it really well in the lighting, but I absolutely love, like, it's embossed in gold leaf. It's really cool. Looks really nice. So she accidentally ordered it because, so I'm used to always double checking my cart because I share an Amazon account. She doesn't, and so she ordered something else and got that too, and it was kind of funny.
I accidentally put it in my cart and not in my list, and so I went to order something else. And I was just trying to be quick about it so I could just get it done with. And afterwards, I was like, wait, why is this thing $30 more expensive than it should be? And I looked, I was like, oh.
That's why. So I got some art stuff. I got some comic stuff. I think I'm going to start with the art stuff, and that's going to be with these 2 tester bottles. Testers is my preferred paint to use when I have to paint models and miniatures and all that fun jazz. I got a light brew? A light.
So you got a heavy brew.
Yeah, I was about the Quaaludes are kicking in.
It's the dark
Too much
brew.
Jaeger. So anyway, let's put a footage of drunk me from the bachelor party. No, let's not. No, I'm putting the clip in. And you don't have to.
No. This is my perspective of you with Jaeger.
Go watch that video. It's
Seriously.
Are the nicest guy I know.
Don't spill it. Jesus. I don't think we're gonna do this.
I'm not that drunk. Is the best person I know.
No one's trying to put on some Batman animated series.
What was actually that movie on? Yeah, we'll be watching it.
I was running.
I was telling my coworkers about it, and now they look it up, and that video is probably going to get like 50 more views now.
Probably like, look at this idiot.
This guy's in charge. They hired him. Anyway, so this is a light blue, and this is going to be for a blue Beetle Migo head I'm going to paint, and this is cream, aka flesh tone. The reason is because for the first time since college, like 6 years ago, I actually had to mix my own skin tone, because my dad left the original skin tone bottle open. He's right there, so I'm just calling him out on it. I hope you guys heard that he just went. So I had to mix my own,
Well,
and
I hope you just went and
They
not.
can't see you. If they can't see you, take it.
Ay. So I mixed my own skin tone, and I'm looking at my arm like, okay, that looks good, and I was really happy with it. And then my dad pointed out that I made him a little too olive, so I need to, which works fine as a base shadow. So now I'm gonna go in with the lighter skin tone, just kind of add a little extra things to it and clean up that head. And then I'm gonna finish painting it and making the goggles. The wrap head's almost done, so really excited about the progress on those projects. And then sticking with the paint, I did pick up a purple paint pen. This is by Malto. You guys should know by now, I absolutely love Malto. Their paints are amazing. I absolutely love the quality. Yes, they are quite a bit more pricey than Posco, but really you are paying for the quality. Now, normally I would pick these up for very special reasons. The purple one, I have a generic, rough idea of what I want to do with this. And because of that, I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but I'm gonna try, and I really think it will work. So hopefully that does. Give you guys an update on that project. And then lastly, we have the Copics before we get into the comics. So I picked up 3 color groups this time: green, blue, and earth tone. And so I picked up blue 12. This is actually ice blue. G05 emerald green. G29 pine tree green, which I actually love how these two contrast. I love like how bright this is, and I love how deep and dark this green is. Very, very, very beautiful. Then I have E09 burnt sienna. Very excited to use that one. E02 fruit pink, which I think will be really good to help with the skin tone set. This one is E97, and this is deep orange. Very excited about that one. And lastly, this one kind of made me laugh. It's E50 eggshell. So yeah, I thought these would be really good colors to add. Just to let you guys know, I have already previewed and selected all the colors that I want to get to complete my personal Copic collection, which is why I always recommend to get the Copic app, because you can preview all the colors and create your own custom wish list. And just to show you, I did also make room in the marker spot for all the markers, properly alphabetized and numerical order, which is very important because you gotta stay organized. It's how I create art. I absolutely love it. Now, don't you have a comment about how I organize all my stuff?
Well, I mean, the fact that this doesn't say eggshell.
What's it say? It says eggshell.
Yeah, but you doubted it. It's the look.
Okay, I'll give you that. That was good.
No, you didn't need. You're like, okay, what is it?
Well, the
no,
thing-
not even any question.
I don't doubt it because it's been well documented how bad I read sometimes. Dyslexia is not fun, kids. It's a learning disability, but I have used it not as an excuse, as a reason to work harder because I actually did get on a roll quite a few times. So, yeah.
And it is a mild source of energy.
It is. Like, I one time gave my friend Red, like, an aneurysm from how bad I spelled a word. It was hilarious. Anyway, let's get into the comics, and I'm going to start with a new issue and an old issue that I found that was really cool. So the first one is going to be this. This is Blue Beetle Graduation Day, issue 3. I've been reading the first 2 issues, absolutely love it. Haven't read the third one yet, but I have to say I really love this run. Blue Beetle's one of my favorite characters of all time. One of the characters that got me into comics. My dad would read me old issues of Ted Core Blue Beetle, so I absolutely love the character Blue Beetle. And they killed off Ted when I was little, and they introduced Jaime, and I really love the Jaime run. He is one of my favorite superheroes of all time. So very excited to be reading this book. The art in it's pretty good. There is this weird kind of over-the-top anime smile. It kind of makes me think of like Lupin the Third. So just keep that in mind. It could be a little off-putting seeing it in a Western comic, but this is a really good book. Definitely recommend picking up. And the back issue find was this one, the official adaptation of Tim Burton's Batman 1989. Absolutely amazing. This is also based off of the original script, and so you actually do get to see some scenes that were cut from the final product, which is really cool. This is a cool find. Now, I do have this in my collection. By me, I mean my dad has it in his collection, but I wanted to have one that I can put on my wall and frame because there's a lot of comic books that I really love the art on. They have a historical value, they mean a lot to me, or they're just fun, cool covers that inspire me, and I want to get a lot of those framed and put onto a wall at some point, so very cool. And at work, someone brought an original Batman cover, like not the cover that was like printed on, you know, mass produced, the original cover that like went into making it. It's really cool. I forget the name of the artist. The guy was super awesome. I was like ringing him up and I'm like, Batman? And we started talking, we bonded over it. It was awesome. So that was really cool. I wish I got a picture of it, but yeah, it was a bro moment. I mean, you know, Batman, favorite superhero of all time. Just a casual Batman fan, I
When you
swear.
said that, everybody
Just a
was like,
casual Batman
Everyone
fan.
gave you a look like, really?
Well, that was the idea. That's what made it funny. So that's everything for today. Do you have anything else to add?
What is this thing? Yes.
What do you mean? Oh, that's pieces of this one. That's pieces of this silly putty. They accidentally, like, touched, and so I pulled them apart.
You never touch silly. No, that's silly putty. This is thinking putty. What happens if you mix silly putty and thinking putty?
I don't know.
You get artists.
Alright, guys, we're gonna end it here. Alright,
Sure.
Birdie.
Oh, jeez.
Sit in the corner. Just wanted to give you guys some closing words real quick. I appreciate all of you guys. I really do. We went up some subscribers, so thank you all very much. And I hope this month was super fun. It was definitely not as visually interesting, I will admit. We didn't do a lot of traveling, but that's because I've been, like, super busy. But I do have a few things. One, the Star Wars poster is completed. The video is finished. It's all done, all edited. Can't wait to upload that. And the guy's gonna be coming up to pick it up, so hopefully Jason will get to see it and just freak out because he has not seen it in person yet, and I know he's going to be freaking out, so I can't wait to get that reaction. We added 19 Copics to the collection. Very excited about that. I also did pick up a tube of acrylic washes, titanium white. This is by Holbein, which I've been pronouncing as Hoblin this whole time, so pick that up along with this book, How to Draw Animals. Normally it's like 35 bucks on Amazon, but it dropped in price, so I was like, heck yeah. This looks like a really good reference because animals are something I know I need to draw better at. I did film a video with Sarah today on my top 10 favorite artists, which we all know the answer to number 1 there. But yeah, overall this was a great month, so thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for subscribing, and remember, I'm J-Rod of BATTLEBRAWLERproductions. I draw Power My Own Soul, and please stay tuned for more awesome content.